Hello, welcome to another DLP playoff game. This is match two between the Toronto Trachyons and the Kanto Koraidons, our two staple coaches here. Actually, Pickenor's a new coach, but he's kind of been a staple this season. And of course, our other coach on the other side, Spanish. This is gonna be an interesting matchup. What do you see on the field here, Clumps?
I think for me, the biggest thing here is going to be watching Picknor get that momentum early with a mixture of Incineroar, Aerodactyl, and that Garchomp kind of getting on the field to kind of do a lot of spread damage for free into this Kanto Koraidon team. On the Kanto Koraidon side, I feel like there's a couple things they want to do. Preserve that Sharpedo, pick up some nice chip damage into really just about anything on this Picknor team, and make sure that floor just doesn't get out of control with the likes of Tinkaton and maybe a little bit of Meow Stick with Psychic Noise so it can't heal up, and maybe Taunt as well.
Well, it is interesting to note here that the both coaches elected to bring the same exact team as they did last time, so it'll be interesting to see how they change it up, maybe in their move sets. Um, I was talking to Spanish, and he said that the game was pretty close, and so he might make some slight adjustments. There might be some adjustments on Pickenor's side to adjust for the adjustments that he's expecting. It'll be interesting, you know. These series, these 5 game series, are such a mental game against your opponent. It's almost like a war of attrition when it comes to your mental fortitude. And Spanish has the ability to test people's mental fortitude. So it'll be interesting to see if Piconor drops a game here.
For sure. I need to actually get the link out. Sorry about that.
Oh no, that's totally fine.
Uh,
I'll let you do all the Discord stuff. You know,
make sure. Wait, let me see. Oh no, we're fine. We're fine.
Okay. It is. I had mentioned it in the first game. The Gallade is always like a key Pokemon on the Triumph of Tracheon side. So it'll be interesting to see how he positions it in this game. I can't remember quite. I think it just did a lot of damage in the first game with its sharpness ability, and then kind of countering the Sharpedo when it was in the correct positioning. So, um, be interesting to see how it comes into play this time. Like I said, they brought the same six, both teams, so um, I wonder if they'll have same leads, same game plans, or if they made any big major adjustments to their teams.
For sure. And if you can go ahead and turn me down a little bit on stream and turn yourself up a little bit,
Oh,
that would
all
probably
right,
be good for being able to hear EQ a little better.
gotcha. I don't know if there's an ability for me to turn. Oh, I can turn myself up slightly. Hopefully that's better. I'll just speak up a little bit. Um, in this league, we're allowed to use all of the items. So having the ability to change items on a lot of these mons can change the way that they're used significantly. So it'll be interesting, just to see what item slots have been moved, and move slots have been moved. I don't think the Florgus did too much in the first game, so maybe the Florgus will come out into a good positioning in this game and try to set up a sweep.
Right, and I was talking with Span a little bit before the game, and he said, despite bringing the same team, I brought a little bit of a tech, quote unquote tech. It's shallow, but it's a tech nonetheless. So it'll be interesting to see if this Kanto Crydon team actually has what it takes to kind of keep it interesting going into this game too.
Yeah, Spanish. He's been playing, in my opinion, has been playing a little passive. I think that he needs to find ways to open up more damage opportunities, especially when he's in Trick Room. Getting that Drampa into position to where it can do a lot of damage is really key. It would be interesting because Drampa, with its normal dragon typing, it gets stab hyper voices. It would be interesting to see if Pickenor tries to counter that with a wide guard.
I told them they can go ahead and start. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where like with the Kanto Koraidons, we've seen them get momentum early in these games, and it'll be interesting to see if he can finally figure out a way to turn that into some wins. But we see the Ensign Gallade lead from Picknor here, as well as the Tinkaton Mimikyu lead for Spanish here. This is
Tinkaton
very
does have the
fun.
faster fake out, so we'll see if
The
Mimikyu
fake out
tries to
does
set
come
up.
out into
Oh,
Incineroar, and the play rough into Gallade, gets it down to his sash.
oh,
Imprison Gallade comes out here, though.
yeah. Gallade was trying to protect the Trick Room setup, but instead took a massive shot with that play rough, bringing it down to its sash. And in reality, Shadow Sneak here could pick off that Gallade, and then Tinkaton is still outspeeding the Incineroar. There is a damage drop on the Mimikyu though.
Right. And I think that's going to be really, really important for Pickinor here. Getting that control early, being able to stop this Mimikyu from just doing that chunk damage that it loves doing early in games, and kind of setting up future KOs is going to be very important here for Pickinor. Obviously, the Stinkton has a couple of options as well. It can kind of go on the
I didn't
offensive here now.
catch I didn't catch
And
the item on the Tinkaton. It didn't get the damage drop, but it does drop a Rock Slide, hitting both the Incineroar and the Gallade.
Play rough doing a decent chunk into that Incineroar, not necessarily getting it to half, but getting it close. And we see the Snarl from the Incin here, going into the Tinkaton, as well as that Mimikyu, breaking the disguise. And I think we're seeing a little bit of a clear Amulet Tinkaton here.
Right, yeah, that's what I was about to mention. Is that I do believe that that's a clear amulet on the Tinkaton. Maybe that was the tech that Spanish had mentioned. The Rock Slide
Right.
didn't do a lot to the Incineroar at all, though. Now the Earthworm is on the field, so I'll be interested to see what kind of damage options Spanish has into this Earthworm.
Right, and I think it's interesting because this Mimikyu now has a little bit of free reign to go into that Trick Room, but it's going to be a matter of how does Span deal with this Earthworm because we've seen a situation like this before in Game 1 where we see that Garchomp come in, heal that Earthworm up thanks to its Earth Eater while dealing massive damage with the EQs. So it'll be interesting to see if Span found a play around for this Earthworm this game.
The Earthworm could very well just go for a Shed Tail, too. I don't think that there's enough damage to prevent it from stopping it if it wanted to.
Right, and you have to get it like right at half to even get the shed tail off. So it's going to be a matter of if Span can prevent that from potentially happening. But we also could see a curse turn. So getting the damage. When we see the switch into Meowstic here, Rock Slide from that Tinkaton kind of going for the flinch chances, does a decent amount of chip into that Incineroar, and we see the
I
curse
do
come
see
out
the
from that
curse.
Earthworm as well. Parting shot into that Meowstic. Not the situation you want to be in here, but we see the Garchomp come out for Pickinor, and Pickinor's kind of set up where he wants to be in this game.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, he likes to have that Garchomp next to the Earthworm for the Earth Eater ability, and just to allow the Earthworm to get set up with that curse. Now he's got the +1 attack and defense. He's got the healing ability. So yeah, the Earthworm's definitely in a good spot right here. It doesn't look like he's gonna be setting up that Shed Tail. Looks like he's gonna be trying to do some
Right.
damage.
Right. And we know we've seen this multiple times. That Earthquake comes out from Garchomp, healing that Earthworm a little bit, does massive damage into that Tinkaton and Meowstic, but we see the Stealth Rock from Tinkaton, Heavy Slam into the Meowstic, not picking up the KO, and Trick Room goes up for Spanish. He's got exactly what he's looking for here. This Earthworm looking very slow, though.
Yes,
Dakota?
the Earthworm is definitely gonna be getting its curse off before anything else moves on the field. But it was really nice to see those stealth rocks come up because the Incineroar had already taken a lot of damage, and I believe that the that'll affect the Aerodactyl later in the game too. It is. I do like the positioning that Pickinor has right now, just because he's got full health Mons and he's trying to whittle down these two pieces that. Ooh, the Gigaton Hammer actually did a decent amount to the Garchomp.
An Earthworm in a situation where it's getting heal blocked from the Psychic Noise, but I don't think it really matters. And Earthquake's picking up 2 KOs here for Pickinor.
Not
Game
too,
or Spanish down to 4 to 5 at the moment.
right, but he's able to get his Conquistador and his Drampa into position now. If he wanted to, he gets
Right.
2 free switches. So, with 2 turns of Trick Room remaining, we could even see the Mimikyu come back on the field next to the Drampa, just so that he can try and set a second Trick Room after this one ends. Let's see, we
And
do
we
see
see
the
that
Drampa,
Trampa come out
and we
as
do
well
see the
as that
Mimikyu.
Mimikyu. This Orthworm at +2 in both attack and physical defense, and a -2 for that speed. So it should be the fastest thing on the field going into here.
I
But
do
we see
believe
that
it
Mega
gets.
from Drampa protects here, and protect from the Garchomp,
Yeah,
with
I do
Mimikyu
think
kind
that
of
the
being the
body
last
press
piece of the
is.
puzzle here. And we see the Wisp
Oh,
miss into the Orthworm. Spanish making the right play, just RNG not rewarding it.
yeah,
Dakota?
it wouldn't have affected the body press, but it would have at least started to get chip onto the Orthworm, which is kind of necessary at this point with its defense set up like that, and the body press threatening super effective damage into the Drampa. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Wisp does affect body press, I believe, because it's a physical move. But we see the heavy slam go into that Mimikyu, picks up the KO from there.
Ooh,
87% flamethrower into the Earthworm, has that berry to weaken that flamethrower damage, and then Earth Eater gonna give that Earthworm back a lot of health here. Pickinor in a really nice spot, and Span kind of just grasping at straws to see if he can gain some momentum back. Dakota?
yeah, that berry definitely allowed it to resist a lot of damage. I know that in the first game, the Earthworm actually got hit with a with an Earth power, and Spanish had mentioned that he had originally put flamethrower there, so it was a bit of a mistake. So I think that Pickenor
And we see
probably
that
picked
double
it.
protect come out for Span here. Rock slide from the Garchomp, not doing anything. Body press into that Drampa would probably pick up the KO from here, but we see the speed boost from Sharpedo. And Liquidation picks up the KO into Garchomp. Pickener kind of did what he wanted with that Garchomp, though, so he's okay with letting it go down here. And Flamethrower into that Orthworm doing 66%,
And getting
gets
the
the
burn,
burn, and Body Press doesn't do enough into that Drampa now, boosting
and
his Berserk.
yeah, and it activated its berserk. So this is really good because the Aerodactyl doesn't necessarily want to hit the fields right now with that Sharpedo having a +2 speed, but it
Right, but we
does.
do see it come out here, and the pressure is on for Pickenor's Aerodactyl here. And this Orthworm looking down a burn. Span might try to just wait it out with a double protect here, although that would be kind of a bad play from him,
Yeah, no,
given
he
that
needs
this
to be
Aerodactyl can get
aggressive.
the tail end up.
I think that a
And he does have that
hyper voice and a
Sharpedo.
liquidation is probably the play here. Pickenor could
Right.
potentially wide guard to counter that and save the Orthworm, but the Orthworm is still, those body presses aren't doing enough damage to KO
And we see
the
that
Drampa.
Mega come out from Aerodactyl. The Protect as well. Liquidation goes into that protected Aerodactyl. And Hyper Voice will pick up the KO into this Orthworm here. Spans kind of even the count 3-3. And as now we have a game on our hand. Dakota?
Yeah, Incineroar does hit the field, takes rock damage, so that is kind of what I think that the Aerodactyl is just trying to survive a liquidation from the Sharpedo at 75% with a -1 drop on the attack. I don't know if
And
it's
we see
enough.
another Protect from this Sharpedo. The Fake Out
Nice
comes out
read.
into that Sharpedo slot. Drampa taking that Rock Slide from Aerodactyl. Not enough to pick up the KO. But we do see
No.
the flinch for Pickinor.
Yeah, Pickenor is known for those flinches. That hyper voice right there would have been a really nice play, but the
Just a
Sharpedo
really
is,
tough turn for Span.
yeah, Sharpedo is still in a good enough position. Oh, he gets a double protect.
See the Protect come out once again. And the parting shot into that Sharpedo, just lowering the Sharpedo's attack stat over and over again. And we could see this Incineroar come back in and cycle again. But the Hyper Voice will come out, doing a good chunk into that Florges. And the Speed Boost comes out for Sharpedo. Spin probably trying to stand here into this Aerodactyl matchup, though.
Yeah, and it does look like Pickenor's play there was, and it wasn't a double protect. He rock slide and got a flinch on the last turn.
Right. And we
Ooh,
see the
flip
flip
turn.
turn come out, doing 46% of that Aerodactyl, which is not nothing. But we see the Conch Elder come out here. Floor just in a good spot. Rockslide comes out, leaves that Drampa on 1 HP. We see the Moonblast pick up the 1-hit KO into that
But
Conch
that's
Elder thing.
gonna
And the
allow
Hyper Voice comes out, not even killing that Aerodactyl, and the Sharpedo comes back in.
Sharpedo is actually in an interesting position to potentially get a sweep here, if it's able to do enough damage. It doesn't have a spread move. So, man, this is really interesting because the Florgus did outspeed the Drampa, so it's gonna be moving first. I don't know if Spanish is gonna have enough to pull this together.
We see
No,
the
he does
Rockslide
not.
pick up 2 KOs here from that Aerodactyl. Probably protecting that Sharpedo would have been a little bit better there. But, it's just one of those situations where Span, he made it a really nice game, right?
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, he just couldn't capitalize on it. He just got a little out of position early, and Picknor did what he wanted to do earlier in this game.
yeah. There was a really nice read with the parting shot and the liquidation into the protect onto the Aerodactyl. It might have been. I mean, that would have been a hard read for Spanish to make to try and take out the Ensign rather than Aerodactyl, especially when you got that Mega Aerodactyl staring you down, and you're so close to getting that KO on it. But yeah,
Right. And this is a game where Picknor just out positioned Span. He got a little bit of RNG to kind of carry him across the finish line here, obviously.
definitely.
But it's just one of those games where Picknor met his win con, and Span just got a little bit unlucky on multiple turns here in this game, and that's just a story I think we're gonna keep seeing throughout this series.
Yeah, the rock slide flinch was really unfortunate because I think that if that flinch doesn't go off, the Drampa picks up both those KOs on that turn, and it actually might have flipped
Right.
the script on this on the ending of this game. I guess we'll never know, but yeah, it is. That is kind of the way that that Pickenor's team is designed to play is with the Garchomp and the Aerodactyl trying to get those rock slide flinches. Um, uh,
Right.
will Pickenor be joining us, or is he
I was
still?
gonna say I wasn't really gonna try because I figure he'll just say the same thing he always says. Is like, why would I talk about the same team that I brought every time?
Yeah,
But
it is his bread and butter. I do think that Spanish played a tremendous game. I mean, he did such a good job of getting in, making the right reads at the beginning of the game, predicting that Gallade was going to go for the imprison and just getting the play rough off and things like that. So,
right. And for me personally, I think what changed the game for me on Spanish's side is we saw him actually utilizing that Sharpedo early on. We saw him really get it in a good position to kind of just clean up against this Picanor team. And obviously the RNG doesn't go the right way, but he positioned really nicely on the offensive side of things. He got that Sharpedo out and kind of doing what it wants to do, despite like having struggles with that earlier in the season.
right, yeah, the Sharpedo was in it. Spanish played a great game. Like he put his Sharpedo in the right positions to win the game. He gave himself the line for the win, but unfortunately, it just didn't come to fruition. Potentially because of the rock slide flinch. But
Right.
Picanor is also such a good coach. He could have found another way out.
Right, but it was looking bleak if he doesn't get that flinch there, I think, because you pick up both KOs there. Now it's just floor just against the world. And that's not a situation you want to be in usually.
Yeah, and I think that the stealth rocks was a really good tech, a really good bring for Spanish, just because of the fact that Incineroar likes to switch in and out, and then the Aerodactyl was left in the back, so it had to take a 25% chip just to come out onto the field. So I think that Spanish is definitely learning how to play into this matchup, and yeah, we did see the Will-O-Wisp miss on turn 7 as well. So yeah, the
Right. And I think
RNG
that
was not
changes.
on on the
And I
side
think that
of
Wisp miss there
Spanish.
really changes the field for Span as well, because maybe that doesn't KO there, the heavy slam into the Mimikyu, if he gets that burn there.
Yeah,
Uh,
the heavy slam would have been affected by the Will-O-Wisp. The
right.
the body presses would not have been though. But
Right, yeah, no. But this was a really fun game. Span really made it like entertaining to watch here, and we could tell he put a lot of work into this prep. Going into this game too, that he knew was so important. Obviously, RNG's not following him. It never really has in the DLP. But maybe in this game 3, he'll get a little brush of luck that will help him.
well, at least he got the burn on the Orthworm.
Right, right. And getting that redemption burn there was really big because we don't know how much that body press is doing without it. I assumed it was going to pick up the KO, to be honest.
I'm not too sure because it was doing chunks, but it did bring it down just enough to bring it to the Berserker stat. But anyway, it was a really good played game by both coaches. I think that they really brought their best this match. Spanish probably licking his wounds a little bit, and I feel bad for him. But Picador is also a really tough coach, and if you allow him to get in position to get some rock slides off, he's gonna get some flinches throughout the match, and it's something
Right.
you gotta anticipate and prepare for.
And I did read in general, Picknor did admit that Span played a little bit better than him on this one, and he can agree with the RNG hacks a little bit here. It looks like. So
Yeah,
yeah, no,
at least Picador understands. Yeah.
I love seeing some good sportsmanship in the DLP, despite how crazy it can be sometimes, chaotic with the rivalries and whatnot. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and start signing us out.
Yeah, well, this was another really fun match. This is game 2 of the Trumptotrachions and the Kanto Koraidon series. Looks like Trumptotrachions are up 2-0 in the series, potentially taking a 3-0 sweep on the entire series. But I think that from what we saw in Spanish, I don't think that Spanish is going to let that happen. So, guys, tune in next
Right.
time we got some more matches coming up. We got plenty of games being played. All of our playoff series are going on right now, so guys keep up with
For
the
sure.
DLP.
This is the bulk of our playoffs too. I mean, this is going to be our busiest part of the schedule. We got 4 series going on, all 5 games, so potentially we have a lot of content to go through here. But I'm Clomps. Dakota kind of led the charge again here today. Thank you for hosting this. Like always, Dakota, I always appreciate you. And
Absolutely.
I guess I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day.